Hello guys, this is Trading, and today I'm going to talk about stop loss placement, relevant swings, and everything that you need to know about them. Let's start with the fact that swings equal stop losses, right? So we have on the chart that we hit the relevant key level. After hitting a relevant key level, we need to point that after we make a swing formation right here, we make a swing, and after we displace higher and make a confirmation, our stop loss will be this low, not this swing low. Why? Because after hitting a relevant key level and we displace higher and create a change in the state of delivery, or in other words a confirmation that you might use, right, we shouldn't return to that level. So here we have protected swings and relevant swings. So this is all the kinds of swings that you might see and that will occur on a daily basis. So we see here the manipulation. We have a consolidation, right? A swing right here, we manipulate the swing. Now after that manipulation happens, this swing formation, this low, will be the least likely to be manipulated again, or at least hit it back into, right? And right after this happens, we always want to see some kind of confirmation. So if we go back up, create a change in the state, that will be our confirmation that this relevant swing is a valid stop loss placement or a valid protected swing. Right afterwards we have the divergence. Divergence, you are already familiar with it. If you trade for some times, you may know of a concept called SMT. Now we see that one asset takes out the low and one asset doesn't take out the low, meaning that this asset right here is the weakest asset because it doesn't take any sort of low, right? It works both ways, lows or highs. So which asset do you trade? Well, you trade the weak asset because it's the least likely to take out the low again, right? Because if it's a strong asset, there's a higher probability that it takes out the low once more. And where do you put your stop loss in if one of these things occur, if an SMT occurs? Well, you put your stop loss on the second swing. Well, not second swing, let's take it out like this. So this is the first swing, this is the second swing, alright? You put it on this first swing. Why is that? Because it's going to be the least probable place for the liquidity sweep to occur once again because of the SMT, right? And especially after a confirmation has occurred. That's why. So keep that in mind. Continuations we have already talked about when talking about market phases of price, right? We see that we created a change in the state of delivery. After that change in state of delivery, meaning we had some sort of expansion, we retraced back into a PD array, a fair value gap, and afterwards a retracement into a PD array. We displace back up, creating a change in the state of delivery. And then, with this change in the state of delivery, the confirmation tool, we have created a failure swing. Now, I'm using the term failure swing only because price has retraced into a PD array, right? Because the relevant swing is this one. This is a failure swing. I'm going to explain you what are the differences. So a relevant swing, if you take a imagination, right, you take an image out of your head and think about it like this. If we have mountains, right, we have the peak of the mountain, then we have the smaller mountains beside it. So this is the peak of the mountain right here. In this case, a mountain would be on top, but you get the idea, right? This is like a triangle. So this is the peak of the mountain. This would be the relevant swing. After changing the state of delivery, that's a confirmed protected swing. This shouldn't be a swing that we come back to. And after that, we have a retracement into a PD array, creating another mountain when this changes the delivery occurs, right? This is a failure swing because they are set apart. First of all, he hit a PD array, and that basically sets it failure swing. Well, if you think about it correctly, it doesn't fucking matter the name that the swing has. The fact is that after we retraced back into a PD array, it's protected. Just think about it that way. Fuck the name of failure swing and relevant swing. Protected swing is what you want to know. So protected swing, after we retrace into a PD array, confirmation tool, this is our protected swing, price shouldn't return back into it. One thing I want to make clear, all of these protected swings are considered protected swings after we have hit a relevant or a key level, right, on a high time frame. That's how you're going to determine protected swings on the lower time frames. That's a key takeaway to take, so note that out. Now, one key concept to gather is the fact that on the daily bias we have already talked about this. We want, with the swings, two things to occur: trade away or trade towards. So in this case we have trade away from. So we see that we had a manipulation close back inside the range, meaning this is a manipulation reversal. We're going to reverse back to the fucking longs. Now trade towards. How do you identify the trade towards? After you have established a draw on liquidity, that's how you're going to establish the trade towards framework, which means opposing candles mean continuation signatures. And this is all on the high time frame. So make sure to take notes and see you next time.